I don't have time to watch the Olympics. I got better things to do than to watch the Olympics. But someone had made mention to me to take a look at this thing and what it's all about. Now, it says in the Bible that we are hated for Christ's name's sake. Okay, and so they're gonna mock us. They're gonna scoff at us and things like that. That's a given. We know this already. It's nothing new. Okay, we've been mocked for a long time. Okay, but I wanted to draw some attention on this guy. His name is Andrew Tate. Most of you guys probably already know who he is. Andrew Tate. I think he's part of the Red Pill community or whatever you call these. He's saying certain things that is typical for one of those macho man type of dudes, where you got to stand up for yourself and all these things. Let's take a look at what he says. And I honestly don't believe he understands Christianity. I don't think he understands God at all. I don't think he understands God at all.
I'm not called to take vengeance on them because vengeance is God's. So I'm called to battle my own flesh and to not get caught up in some culture war. I'm not.
Oh, yeah,
so it is heartbreaking.
That's right. Don't get caught up in a culture war. Just let Christian culture be mocked openly and destroyed in real time and decimated and replaced. That's it. Don't get caught up in a culture war. Don't get caught up in here in the flesh. Let's just forgive and let them make fun of us forever and do absolutely nothing and let them mock us forever and let them replace us. And we're just going to sit here and turn the other cheek and read the Bible. Bro, I don't know what it's going to take for you people to stand up and stop taking this shit. France is supposed to be a Christian country. The worst thing about this is actually the fact that none of this has anything to do with sports. They could have done this at any other time. No, they chose this random event. You can't even possibly link them. They have no excuse they can come up with that makes any kind of logical sense. It's not about sports. It's not about dedication. It's nothing to do with the event. They just so everyone will be watching. Let's prove how disrespectful we are to Christianity, and let's prove how we are. There was no need for it at all.
I agree. What should I have done, or what should Christians have done?
Are you mad?
Yeah.
Are any Christians?
It's heartbreaking.
Are any Christians at all, a single one, going to even bother to go outside and protest? Are any Christians going to stop watching the Olympics? Are any Christians?
Okay. So he's, again, he's coming at this with the macho man angle, where you need to be angry about this. You need to say something about this. You need to defend yourself. You need to all these things. Obviously, he doesn't know how Christianity works. If you do these things, then what? Then what happens? It's just bark. You're just barking. Then what? You're gonna go outside with picket signs and protest and, hey, you guys shouldn't have done that. Then what? You're just making a fool out of yourself. You're just looking like a fool. Doing this for what? Like no one's. They're not gonna care. Right? They're not gonna care. They're not gonna take this video down. They're not gonna apologize. They're not going to. This is not gonna stop the mockery of Christianity. What are we gonna do? Is it gonna be crybabies about it? This is a weak type of masculinity. It's weak. It's mentally weak. It's emotionally weak. It takes a lot more strength to restrain yourself from being angry and doing something that you're probably going to regret. I mean, it's easy to be angry. It's easy to go out there and start beating people up. It's easy to go out there and be mad and, be yelling and screaming and protesting and all these things. It's easy. It takes a lot more strength to keep your composure. They think that this type of thing displays strong masculinity when it actually doesn't. This is weak. It's weak-minded. The biblical mindset, the biblical manhood is actually way stronger than this. And I'm going to show you guys after we watch the whole thing.
Are any of you going to do anything after the most blatant mocking, probably in history, of Jesus Christ? Or are you all going to sit there and do absolutely nothing and talk about how somehow, in the end, it'll be fine? Oh, we have a cancer tumor, but in the end, if you just ignore it, it's going to be fine in the end. No, they wouldn't dare do this to any other religion. They wouldn't dare do it to Judaism, and they wouldn't dare do it to Islam. They would not dare. They mock Christians because you're endlessly weak, endlessly forgiving. You know what happens if somebody's endlessly forgiving? At first, they're a good person, and in the end, they're taken advantage of.
You can be forgiving and not weak, and not be taken advantage of. You can forgive someone who stole from you. You can forgive them, endlessly forgive them, but you know not to not to let this person into your house ever again. So that statement isn't true.
Don't you have any semblance of rage inside of you? And not just you, all the Christians. Everyone's just going about their day. All the Christians in France are just doop-de-doo.
We should call it out, but we shouldn't let it enrage us. Why?
Anger moves the world, friend.
Gotta be careful, though. You can't fall into...
Fall into what? Anger moves the world. It was, I guarantee, during the Christian Crusades, they were angry.
You know, no, there is actually a huge movement to boycott the Olympics, and a lot of people are boycotting and not watching it. I will not watch a single sporting event. People can share the 100-meter relay, and clips can go viral. I'll block everyone who tags me in it. I'm not watching any of it at all, ever.
Absolutely unacceptable. Anger moves the world. And I think that all of this trope about endless forgiveness and allowing yourselves to be mocked and taken advantage of forever is going to backfire at some point. There's going to be a point in the future when we look back at history, if the world still exists, and they're going to say, what were the Christians doing to save Christian civilization during that period, when their lands and their women were being taken from them, when they were endlessly mocked by the people who were supposedly in charge of them? What were they doing? And when you find out the answer was forgiving, jerking off the point, and sitting around going, it'll be all right later on, there's going to be a large, long history lecture on how they should have stood up and done something. It would not take much for Christians in France to put up enough of a fuss outside of this garbage ceremony for them to not try this again. You need 5,000-6,000 people with signs and pictures of Jesus. They do it in Romania. They do it in Serbia. They do it in a few other countries. In France, a Christian nation, what are they going to do? Nothing. They're all going to go out tonight, drink alcohol, and that's it. Do drugs. Failures. I'm telling you, it's a failure of the religion, and it's a failure of the Christians to allow this to happen. You cannot blame the people who attack. If I leave my money out on the street and someone steals it, people will say, why'd you leave your money out on the street? Mm-hmm. If you allow your prophet, if you allow Jesus and your religion and your culture and your entire country to be mocked and stolen from you and destroyed, and you do nothing, whose fault is it?
Okay. Number one, God is powerful enough to defend himself. Thank you very much. He doesn't need for us to defend him, right? But I get what he's trying to say. Yeah, we should be enraged and all these things. And this is all human emotion that is in play. But he doesn't see the bigger picture here. And I'll share with you guys what the bigger picture is at the end. But he's saying, we should be enraged. We should go outside with picket signs and do all these things. And again, what I say to that is, and then what? Then what? We're just fools doing this, pretending like it's going to do something. It's not. It's not going to do anything. And when he says, "Oh, you're going to let your prophet be mocked. You're going to let your God be mocked." First of all, them mocking the Last Supper, this image of the Last Supper. Let's talk about it later. He says something else that I want to point out.
So what should Christians do?
Christians should go and put up enough of a fuss right now so that they know this is unacceptable. So that you can't decide during the Olympics to ignore sporting, ignore dedication, ignore hard work, ignore international cooperation, all the things the Olympics are supposed to be about, throw that out the window and instead desecrate Jesus Christ. All you have to do is get some signs and go stand out there and say, what are you doing? Not a single one is outside. And you're telling me that if you were there, you wouldn't be enraged either. There has to get a point where you get mad. This is a genuine question. I'm trying to understand your mindset. Someone breaks into my house and rapes my wife, right? They knocked me out, they shot me. Hard to kill. I'm Steven Seagal. They come in, they hit me with the shotgun. Bang. Takes me down for a minute or two. They rape my wife, I get up. Oh well, turn the other cheek. No, people must pay the price. They must pay for what they've done. They will pay for that.
Okay, so he makes this analogy, okay? I don't see it that way. I don't see them mocking Christianity as the same thing as someone going to someone's house and raping their wife. I don't see it as the same thing. This is why I say that he has the wrong mindset when it comes to this. Them mocking Christianity is like a mosquito bite. That's what it is. It's not like some, oh, you just raped my... No, it's not that you just invaded my home. No, it's not that. You see, God is more powerful than that. That's why I'm like, yeah, let them mock. Let them mock. And I'm gonna show you why that is so. I'm gonna show you why that is my attitude. Okay? Again, number one, them mocking Jesus Christ and them mocking, the Last Supper, the image of the Last Supper, is like a mosquito bite. It's not really, it doesn't hurt. Let them mock. You know why? Okay, this is why. Did you know that Jesus Christ protested? Jesus Christ's protest is against sin itself. And he understood that there are sinful people out there, and those sinful people, whether it's gay, lesbian, whatever, Islam, Muslim, a regular Joe Schmo like me, his protest is that he allowed himself to go on the cross. He allowed himself to go on the cross. He protested against sin. He allowed himself to go on the cross he had his arms wide open like this. And he stopped the wrath of God from coming near us. That's his protest. That's his protest. That's why this whole mockery of Christianity is like a mosquito bite. It means nothing. It doesn't mean anything. You're saying, oh, you got to defend your God. You got to defend your God. No, Jesus Christ is trying to defend you from the wrath of God. You know what he said back then? You know what he said when he was on the cross? He said, forgive them, Father, for they know not what they are doing. That's his protest. He says, hey, look, I know that they're sinners, but I love them so much that I'm willing to die for them, so that you, Father, are not going to outpour your wrath on them. We think that, this guy thinks that, Christianity is being mocked and you guys are too weak to defend it. No. We have it. He has it the other way around. He has it the other way around. Jesus Christ. Think about this. Jesus Christ. I'm a sinner, right? I'm a sinner. You're a sinner. And Jesus Christ died on the cross to protest and say, Father, I'm dying on the cross for these people that are sinners. I'm saving them from the wrath of God. I'm saving them from sin and death. If you have a true mindset, true biblical mindset, this is nothing. The mockery of Christianity is not comparable to the wrath of God against those who mock Christianity. And that's why God is giving us a chance to pray for those people that are sinners. Jesus Christ protested on the cross. He said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. They mocked me, Father, he says. They mocked me. They put me on a cross, a symbol for sun worship, which I hate. But he allowed himself to get on the cross. He allowed himself. Did you know that he said to Peter, when Jesus Christ was getting arrested, he said to Peter, don't you know? He said, put your sword aside. Put it back in its sheath. Don't you know that I can call on my Father and he will send legions of angels? But he didn't do so. Don't you know that Jesus Christ could have called on his Father and he could have stepped away from the cross, but he didn't do that. He didn't do that. Us defending Christianity because of Christian mockery is nothing compared to Jesus defending sinners from the wrath of God. And we're over here sitting, oh, you guys got to defend yourself from all these Christian mockery, from all these people that mock Christianity. My brother, you don't know the real battle. You do not know the real fight. You do not know the real fight. The real fight is against sin and death. If Jesus was right here, right now, being mocked just like he was on the cross, What would he say to God? He would say, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they are doing. Father, forgive them. They are oblivious to the fact that I'm over here trying to save them and they're mocking me. And he says, forgive them, Father. Did you know Mrs. White says, watch this. This is from the Christian Experience and Teaching, chapter 14, entitled The Sealing. Okay. This is paragraph 1, page 102, paragraph 1. I saw 4 angels who had a work to do on the earth and were on their way to accomplish it. Jesus was clothed with priestly garments. He gazed in pity on the remnant, then raised his hands and with a voice of deep pity cried, my blood, Father, my blood, my blood, my blood. What is he trying to do? What is he trying to do? He's trying to protest. He's trying to say, Father, my blood. Do not unleash the wrath. Do not unleash your wrath yet. My blood. My blood. He's telling the Father, look, I saved them with my blood. Do not unleash your wrath. Then I saw an exceeding bright light come from God, who sat upon the great white throne and was shed all about Jesus. Then I saw an angel fly with a commission from Jesus, swiftly flying to the 4 angels. And by the way, those 4 angels are the 4 angels that are holding the winds of strife. God is about to let loose destruction upon this earth. And the 4 angels are those who are holding back the winds of strife. Christian mockery is nothing compared to the winds of strife that is going to come upon this earth. You got to defend yourself from the wrath of God. And how do you do that? You use Christ as your defense. Christ is your refuge. Then I saw an exceeding bright light come from God and sat upon the great white throne and was shed all about Jesus. Then I saw an angel fly with a commission from Jesus, swiftly flying to the 4 angels who had a work to do in the earth and waving something up something up and down in his hands, crying with a loud voice, hold, 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 until the servants of God are sealed in their foreheads. Why should we even worry about Christian mockery? This is a mosquito bite compared to the winds of strife that is about to come upon the earth. This is how twisted this mind is. This is how twisted it is. You need to go out and defend yours. You need to go out and defend your Jesus Christ. You need to go out and defend your God from this Christian mockery. Who's going to defend them? Who's going to defend you from the wrath of God? This Christian mockery, you can mock Christianity all you want. It doesn't hurt. I don't know about some of you guys. You guys who've been Christians, you guys who follow Christ. This is going to happen. It's going to inevitably going to happen. They shall mock us. They shall hate us. They shall kill us because we bear the name of Christ. It's going to happen. Remember Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Was there open mockery against God during that time? Was there a threat for Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego to go into the fiery furnace during that time? How did they protest? Even though you threaten us, even though you want to mock our God, even though you want to mock Christianity, doesn't mean anything. Throw us into the fire. See what happens. Andrew Tate's mindset about this, it's a weak mindset. Anybody can go out there and protest. Anybody can go out there and be angry and say explicit words, and say all these curse words to people. And for what? What does that do? Other than make a fool out of yourself. You better be thankful that Jesus died for you. You better be thankful that Jesus died for you. Protesting his blood, putting a block on the wrath of God with his blood, protested for you. Anyways, and everybody's talking about how, vengeance is God's. Yes. Yes, I agree. Vengeance is God's. And that's pretty much the typical Christian answer is, yeah, we don't protest and we don't do this because vengeance is God's. Truly, what we should be doing is praying for those people mocking Christianity, protesting for them, asking God, hey, God, forgive them, for they know not what they do. But there's going to come a time where that time is no longer going to happen. No more forgiveness being given. There's going to be a time where the sanctuary is cleansed, and that's it. No more. Judgment will be set. The wrath of God is going to outpour upon the earth. And those who we've been praying for, like an Andrew Tate, or those who participated in the mockery of Christianity, those who we prayed for, who we know that God is going to reveal himself to them. And if they still mock Christianity, no one's going to defend them from the wrath of God. No one. No one. Anyways, if you guys were blessed by this, please like and share. Share this with Andrew Tate. And the fact that he has this is a weak mindset. It's a weak mindset. To go out there and protest and do all these things, get angry, get mad. It's easy to do that. It takes a lot more strength to keep your composure. Let's not get into this weak mindset. Pray for the guy. Please pray for the guy. Please pray for this ministry as well. If you guys want to support this ministry, please pray for this ministry and also donate at sfp.center/support. The link is in the description box below. The donations do help us a lot. It does help us keep this ministry afloat, and it does also help us to reach more people out there, to advance the gospel, and to also finish the work that we have, which are the documentaries that we're doing. So please, if you guys want to support, sfp.center/support. The link is in the description box below. Thank you guys again. Praise God always. Peace.
The debate over pre-trib, mid-trib, and post-trib is quite a debate.
All Christians agree there's going to be a tribulation. You can't escape where Jesus says in Matthew 24, there's a time of trouble such as there never has been coming. Jesus is actually quoting Daniel chapter 12.
Post-tribulation means that we're going to go through the tribulation, that Christians are going to be here for that testing, and we're going to have to overcome the mark of the beast.
The rapture is simply a calling up of God's people. And while that word is not described in the Bible, the idea of God calling up his people when Jesus returns is described in Scripture. So will that event, will the rapture be pre-tribulation, mid-tribulation, or post-tribulation?
When Jesus Christ comes back, these resurrections are going to be distinctly different. The resurrection of the righteous, followed by later the resurrection of the damnation. We want to find ourselves in the first resurrection, the resurrection of the righteous.